G'day guys, and welcome to another edition of the London session analysis videos. First of all, before I begin, apologies for yesterday. I had an issue with the audio settings, and what I uploaded just was not up to scratch for to be uploaded onto YouTube and shared with you guys. So nonetheless, I am back today. I fixed the issue, which is good, and I'm ready to roll today. So let's as always, let's move on with the analysis on a GJ. Starting with GJ, I'll also look at gold, GU, and possibly AU, maybe EJ. I'll see. I'm gonna give NASMIS for this session. Might possibly do it for the NY update video. So GJ, starting the weekly. So weak bullish candle, 1 wick in either direction, suggests to me that if we begin to break the high of the previous weekly candle, there's a high probability we will continue to the upside. Break the low of the previous weekly candle, there is a high probability we will continue to the downside. So far, respecting both the high and low of the previous candle, not a great deal of volume just yet. Small lower wick. However, we are just based off that candle itself, the previous weekly candle, weak bullish. Tapping into still this resistance over here to the left, previous level. That could be hence why we are struggling at this level, but still a long way to go for the week. But based off the previous weekly, it's a weak bullish candle. Looking at the daily structure itself, that is bearish. Previous daily did close back bullish, but we're right hard up against this resistance formed towards the end of last week. So what I'm going to do is marking last week's candle's high, the previous weekly candle's high. Above that level on the high time frame, looks like we've got some more potential movement to the upside. So we are technically bearish, but what we are doing is we are creating within the micro trend, creating some structure here, forming higher lows, higher highs. We have formed support in previous daily candles, so therefore if we begin to break above that previous daily candle's high and above that previous weekly candle's high, we feel there's a high probability we will come back up towards that 187.50 and potentially 188 level. So technically bearish, but with counter probabilities to the upside. Looking at the 4 hour, that is technically bullish. As we can see, we have closed above this swing point just here, barely, but we actually have done so. So now consider it technically bullish. Creating pretty much creating what we're seeing is from these lows, we're creating impulse followed by a bit of consolidation and pullback followed by another impulse. Kind of doing the same thing just here. So once again, if we begin to break above the high of this swing to the upside, there is a high probability we will continue to the upside. So therefore, where could potential targets be? I would mark in this level, the most recent level above the current level. I've also got this just here, so I would mark that in. Just mark it in with a horizontal. I'm just going to mark in some levels of resistance at this point. I'm also going to mark in about to form support just here. Mark in this level as it lines up that previous resistance. I'll probably just drag it down as one whole level that price could potentially tap into to form a support above before it heads back up. We'll see what we can do on the M30. So we're technically bullish in a 4 hour. Just in the middle of this range right now though, kind of consolidating right in the middle, and that's more evident on the M30. Not a great deal of direction. The M30 structure itself, however, is technically, by the looks of it, bullish. So we flip the structure and closure above this point here. Last 2 or more consecutive candle pullback is this point here. We have not obviously closed below it. So therefore, I would consider the M30 to be in still an uptrend. I'm just going to mark in that support, and it won't flip bearish until it actually starts to close below it. So you can drag this down a little bit to incorporate the lowest point of the bullish candle at this level, which is this candle just here. And what I would say is, as long as we remain above that level there, as long as we remain above the support forming the current daily candle, we are technically bullish in the M30, and I would prefer to buy it. Not at the current level. We're just consolidating, very choppy price action, indecision, no clear direction. So when price is doing this sort of shit, guys, our responsibility is to do is wait and let it create the move. Let it show us it's ready to continue trading. Or it may come back down, flip the structure, tap in, and that could be our signal to sell it below the current daily candle's low. Within the current daily candle, what we've done is form a resistance for form a support. Unfortunately, above the resistance, running into further resistance, so it's not going to make much sense to buy it into the resistance. However, if we begin to pop below support and close below it, we're flipping the M30 structure bearish. That adds confidence to look for a sell to take it back down towards that 184.70 sort of region. So for that matter, I'm going to put sells below this point here. My templates back, they are today. yesterday they weren't. I was having all sorts of problems yesterday, guys. Had no idea what was going on. As for buy options, very choppy price action. Now, if we come close to London Open, we've made a move back down, only to reject maybe that 185 flat sort of level and pop back up above this support at 185.20. That point there, that could provide a buy option, but I'd like that scenario to play out, not just wait for it to pull back, weak bullish candle buy, because essentially just buying at consolidation. So I'd rather it perform the scenario I've just suggested, if that is to be the case. Otherwise, just need to patiently wait, guys, for it to show you what direction it's ready to trade. If it does move to the upside and reject, we've rejected this level multiple times, I just look for my signals in price action to sell it from the highs. It may even happen at this point here. I would also consider that as a potential sell zone, guys. We do respect the current daily candles high. We do respect the previous daily candles high as well. I think there is a good opportunity that we will just range throughout London, if that is to be the case, to look for potential sells below. Now, let's quickly look at the news, guys. Sorry. Today is 16th. Let me just update this. So we got some high impact news to come for the pound. So that could obviously potentially have an impact on volatility with the claimant count, which is obviously to do with the amount of people claiming unemployment. So be wary of that. Don't trade into it. Don't trade right after it if you can avoid it, guys. Just wait for things to settle down again. Obviously, further buys from lower down, get the right confirmations of price action, a little bit of structure to form these lows to potentially buy it. And off on GJ, let's move over to gold. So far, I've noticed levels. I did an analysis video, like I said yesterday, but I just didn't upload it because the audio quality. But everything's done pretty much as per the analysis. All right, so quickly, let me clear this and let me look at gold. Weekly is weak bullish. Long wick to the downside, tapping into these wicks to the left, this resistance, suggesting there's a high probability that we may have grabbed liquidity from the downside. We're pulled back to create a low just here, form support in minor time frames. As long as we respect the lot of the current weekly candle, no need to pull back all that far into the previous weekly candle. I feel if we begin to break the current weekly candle's high, like we're going to retest the previous weekly candle's high and potentially head back up even further. Daily structure is technically bullish, previous daily. Weak bullish candle, not a great deal of volume. Current daily it's forming bearish. Just going to mark in low the previous daily. Looks like we have some potential clean traffic below that level for a sell. So we're technically bullish, but looks like we may be exhausting the 4-hour structure. You'd have to argue right now, guys, it is bullish as well by the looks of it. So we've got the daily bullish, 4-hour bullish, the weekly was bullish. So the bias is going to be to the upside by the looks of it. Let me just check this out properly, make sure it is bullish. That's the lowest one. Yeah, it is bullish. We're closer to resistance than we are support. So probably more likely I want to be looking for potential sells at this stage. But let's just see anyway. I've marked in low the previous daily candle. All right. So I kind of want to actually, I'll leave corporate those wicks because it is the 4-hour level, significant level. So the M30, we flipped bearish at this point here, and we have remained bearish since because we haven't closed above. So the M30 is bearish, and therefore our bias is technically to the upside. The M30 is bearish. That's the previous daily candle's low. Let me mark that supporting. So obviously it's going to be enough margin below that point there to look for some potential sells. Just need to be obviously careful because it just depends. I would not, especially right now, the way gold is forming, there is just no volume. It's a slow trickle back to support. So I'd rather actually the momentum come in, get a nice strong closure blow. The issue with that is you're not going to have much margin because likely you could just tap into this support and bounce off it. Sells below the support formed just here as well, 2041 would also make sense. And seeing we're closer to support and the bias is technically bullish, looking to see where if we form resistance on the move to the downside. We form resistance just here. So that'd be a level I'd mark in. Not a great deal of margin though. Obviously we've got another swing point just here. But let's just say we pop down. Maybe do likewise just here. Have another little minor pullback. Start to form a bit of resistance. Pop above the resistance. We could be buying it lower down, guys, from the support. I would be definitely looking to buy it, albeit against the M30 structure. Still have counter probabilities on our side in the daily. We still have the daily structure and 4-hour and weekly candle on our side. So I would say buys above at this support. I want it to come pull back now to this support, tap in. Potential buys above 2050, not really liking it though. It just depends how we form and what time it approaches that level. And sells from higher up, we have constantly rejected that level. Look for your catalyst in the price action. Similar to what we had here, bit of support form, price begins to pop below it. There's your entry for potential sells below the highs. So just mark that in. That is gold. Hope you guys are following. If you are, please hit that like button. Leave a comment, that'd be fantastic. Now let's look at GU. So I've got a neutral bias. Let's look at this chart though. Clean it up. So obviously strength in the Dixie right now. So it's sent the majors to the downside. Obviously GU, AU, EU, all in a bit of a downward movement at the moment. The weekly, based off the previous weekly, I call it weak bullish. Current weekly is almost engulfed the previous. It's marking a low of the previous candle. Very choppy area, price action, high time frame on GU. At a resistance, has no idea what it wants to do really. Daily, again, that's quite evident. We can see it's at a very strong level. The structure itself is bullish, but we do have counter probabilities to the downside. We just have broken a support actually. By the looks of it. That is that previous weekly candle's low. Below it, running into a support on the daily, that wick. Running into it on the 4 hour. So it's not going to be easy, but it looks of it in GU again. 4 hour structure is, let me look at it. That's the high. Broke the high. Flip bearish. Closed above just here. About to flip bearish. Yep. It's about to flip bearish in the next minute. What I'd be doing is mark in. Kind of want to mark in that low. I'm just going to mark in this level and see where we're at on the M30. It's about to flip bearish in the 4 hour. I'm just going to mark in the most recent level of resistance. Support, what do we got? This level just here. Alright, so 4 hours bearish and we're at support. M30 is obviously also going to be bearish at this stage. And technically it won't flip back bullish until this point here. Just going to adjust this a little bit. Alright, so the bias now is neutral on GU. But seeing we're at support and we've got there's options for sells below, obviously, at this point here, because it is clean traffic to the left. But from where it's come from, I want a bit of exhaustion. So for that to happen, for me to really trust these sells without any sort of proper pullback, currently, I mean, if it does drop into that level, I'd rather it pop back up, create a lower high, another low, a lower high, and then closer to London Open, we start to pop below it. That's when I'll trust the sells at that point. Having said that, seeing right at 4 hour support, bias is technically neutral. Forming a resistance just here. So if we begin to pull back, create a high, higher low, higher high, then I don't mind the counter trend sells, guys, because you're obviously looking at what level we're at, and we're currently at a support. Probably just mark that in, to be honest. That's a bullish candles form support. So as long as we close above that level, tap in, begin to pull away. Yeah, I think above 127 flat would be a good option to begin to look for potential buys from lower down on GU. Obviously, we've got some pretty clean traffic to the left above it, so that's what I'd be looking at on GU. Otherwise, sells, if it pulls back, you can't get into buys, and then technically at this point, unless it comes back down a bit further to create a lower low in the M30, it's technically going to remain bearish until it closes above these highs here. So the other option is just to wait patiently for it to pull back, create low, support, pop below support, sell it. Look to the left to see where it could potentially pull back to. There's obviously this previous level just here, could pull back to that level there, form a resistance at that point even, to potentially sell it. So look for your levels to where it could potentially pull back to. You got 127.30, 127.1, 127.10 roughly, as well as another level. That's GU. Let me look at AU. AU is the same as GU, guys. Just wait for it to pull back to sell it. It's still got clean traffic to the left. With AU is probably a little bit ahead of GU. GU might be lagging AU a little bit, because what we've done on AU is pretty much what I want to see in GU. Pull back, we are trending. So create a low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now it's likely we're gonna, if we are to continue the trend, we do a clean traffic to left, that we're gonna come down, potentially retest that 0.65675, which isn't great for me, as you guys who follow me know. I want a strong Aussie. So just quickly, I know I'd rather sell at this point. However, again, let's look at, is it on a 4-hour support right now? Previous resistance, I really don't like the buyers at this stage. Previous daily, bearish, current day. I'd just be playing the sell option. So looking at this daily candle, I'd be looking within it to see where we could potentially pull back to form of resistance on the minor time frame, head back down. Obviously got a couple levels just here. Got that level. Got the most recent level that pretty much all this, that price made the move from. And again, we've got the level that we've most recently created a little swing point from. There's another level for it to pull back and reject. EJ, I've just drawn up a chart briefly. Bias is bullish. I'd rather buy it. Yeah, quite simple on EJ. Clean traffic above 160.10, so closures above. It's just consolidating. So if you are looking to trade EJ, let it create a move, clean move back to support around 159.30. Form a support and look to buy it. It's very similar to GJ at the moment, EJ. Need to wait patiently for price to get to levels that you want to look for your options and potential sells from higher up. If it does reject 160 psychological round number and head back down yet again, we've rejected it multiple times, failed to break close above it. So let's see if that is to be the case. There could be potential options to sell it back down. And that's a wrap, guys. Hopefully that all makes sense. Trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter, a little bit sweeter, so I don't lose the attention of my wonderful friends who are watching these videos. In the meantime, make sure to hit the like button. Look out for an NY update video drop a little bit later, likely guys. I'll see how I go. Cheers, bye for now.